Happy New Year, everyone, and I want to start this off by talking about a child's game and both the best and worst advice I've ever been given as a writer: show and tell. And welcome back to the heart of the stories we tell. I'm Rob, the host, and this is another look deep into what makes a story, a theory on storytelling by a storyteller who believes that every story has merit. And tonight's episode is the difference between showing and telling when it comes to storytelling. Now, there's a lot of people that are going to tell you that you should always show, not tell, but tonight I want to talk about some examples where they did both and they contradicted each other and what that means for storytelling. So, first, a quick primer. At the end of the day, show, not tell is a great bit of advice because it tells you that every time you say something about a character, hey, this character likes blue, you're only telling the author, or the author's only telling the reader about it. However, on the other hand, it's horrible advice, because when you really come down to it, there are times you need to just have the author tell something. One of the great examples of this is J.K. Rowling's and the Harry Potter universe. Dumbledore is gay. Well, she just said that. It never really showed in the story, so does it count as having a gay character? And now, I use the kids' game as an example. Well, not really game, but what you probably did in kindergarten and first grade. There was a thing where your teacher would tell you to bring something in and do a show and tell. Well, what is it you're really doing there? In my case, I'm bringing in my action figures and saying, hey, this is my G.I. Joe collection, and this is how I play with them, and this is what makes them cool. And of course, if you know anything about this channel, you know they're cool because they're just cool. But okay, I'm showing you. You're physically seeing it, which is what everyone tells you in the advice you're supposed to be doing. But I'm also telling you about them, because there are some things you just can't show, and there are some things that would just take too much time to show. I can't set up a whole elaborate battle scene between my G.I. Joes and Cobras, as much as I'd love to. Instead, I just tell you about how I do that. Now, like I said, there are times when these two things contradict. Let's talk about a TV show I used to watch as a kid, even though it probably wasn't age appropriate. Married with Children. Married with Children is a basic comedy that was aired on Fox, talking about the Bundy family. The Bundy family was the picture of a dysfunctional family, and living across the street from them was what was supposed to be the normal suburban family. The dad was a little bit on the insane side and hated his job, and if you listen to what they tell you, he hated his family and just wanted to leave. But guess what he never did? He never left. His wife was no good and was always interested in just herself, never cooked, never did anything, and the children. Well, the children are what we're really going to talk about. Because you see, Bud was this loser who couldn't get a date, and Kelly was this slut who slept with everyone who she ever dated, and that's just the way it worked out. Except for the fact that that's not really what happened. If you actually watch the show, what would happen would be Al loved his family. Even though he hated his job, it was really the job he was meant to do, and he was really good at it. Peg would cook, but only on occasion. As much as she was a lot of jokes about being a bad housewife, they were just that. They were jokes. But let's talk about those two kids for a minute. Kelly Bundy and Bud Bundy. Everything we're told in series, Kelly Bundy is a slut. She's a dumb airhead, and she's only going to get by on her looks. Bud, on the other hand, is pretty smart and a nice guy, but at the end of the day, he just has no luck with the women. He can't date them, he's going to die a virgin, and there's nothing he can do about it. Except for the fact that that's not really the way it works out. Because you see, we see examples of this all the time. Kelly says things that make her look that way, and Bud says things or is made fun of that make him look that way. But at least once a season, if not 2 or 3 times, we see Bud dating really hot chicks. In fact, we even see him get laid. So, at the end of the day, he's not really that bad off. He is shown to just be a normal kid. On the other hand, there's Kelly. Played by Christina Applegate, she is used as the sex symbol of the show, and I'm sure Fox loved the fact that they could parade her around and make jokes about her being the slutty dumb blonde. But at the end of the day, that's all we ever saw, were dumb jokes about it. Yeah, they were putting her in skimpy outfits and making her walk around, but when she actually went on the dates, there was always something that would stop it. someone that the dad would come home and beat up the boyfriend just for kissing her, throw her out. She'd get mad at a boyfriend and just leave him, or she'd walk out of the car instead of having sex. You know what we never saw? We never saw her consummate a relationship, but we did Bud. Now, why is that? In this case, because there's humor in the juxtaposition. There's humor in the fact that it's contradicting itself. Oh, ha ha ha, Bud's a loser. Oh, ha ha ha, Bud's a loser. Oh, ha ha ha, that one time Bud gets this. Oh, ha ha ha, Kelly's the slut. Oh, ha ha ha, Kelly's the slut. But oh, wait, when we actually see it, she's really not. And it goes back to the parents as well. Like I said, the idea that Al hates his family is an overarching thing. But over and over again, we see these touching moments where, hey, look, he doesn't. He actually loves his family and is actually a pretty good father, despite all the bad luck that hits the family. If they had shown and not told, then we'd have to show Al not loving his family, and that wouldn't be funny. And we'd have to show Kelly being a slut, which would make it X-rated. And we would have to show all sorts of things, but we don't. We tell you one thing, and then we show you another. So to all you writers out there, sometimes you have to show one thing and tell another, and sometimes you just need to show instead of tell. The important thing is for you to decide which one is right for you in this particular case. Now, in case you thought that I had completely forgotten my geek cred, I think we're going to talk about another example instead of just Married with Children. Let's talk about Star Trek. What if I told you that this character was evil and an antagonist of the show? What if I told you he was going to come in and be the worst captain ever? But then all I show you are the examples of him actually being a pretty decent captain, just not doing things the way that Picard did. So let's talk about the often misunderstood Captain Jellico. Now, Captain Jellico came in one of the last seasons of the show. He came in a two-parter where Picard was off having his own mission and had to be captain of the Enterprise in the middle of a pretty messed up situation. And he was rough, and he followed the rules, which most Star Trek captains don't, and he just wanted things to go normal. Let's talk about one of the things that most people remember him for. What he did to change the character of Counselor Troi. Counselor Troi had been on the bridge, a command officer, since the first episode of the series. However, as you see, she's not exactly in a Starfleet uniform. This was always accepted as the episodes went on because, well, she's just the ship's counselor. But again, she has rank and can order people around. And it's not like Dr. Crusher ever didn't wear one. So what did he do? He made her put on an actual Starfleet uniform. More than likely, following the rules. Most Starfleet captains that we follow break the rules on par for course. But not Jericho. And that's what sets up him being different. And that's what sets him up as being an antagonist. Off the bat, he tells Riker that he wants him to change the way the ship runs. And the reason is because he's about to go into a major negotiation with the Cardassians. And what does Riker do? Riker disobeys him, and doesn't do what he says. Now I want you to think about that. The first officer on the ship disobeys the captain's order just because he doesn't like it. We've been shown time and time again that insubordination leads to the right outcome, and that Riker's the hero of the story, right? So at the end of the day, if Riker doesn't like this guy, it must be that he's the bad guy and wrong. So again, it's a difference in what we're shown and what we're told. What we're shown is a captain who is a little more hard-edged, has a little more respect for the rules, and is in a dangerous situation trying to get things done. But what we're told is, you're a bad captain, you don't care. But nothing indicates that. At the end of the day, what it's indication of is how easy it is to manipulate your feelings, regardless of which way it goes. Another great example in Star Trek is known as the Worf effect. Warning, it's a TV trope. Commander Worf is supposedly one of those badasses on the ship. He's stronger than the normal humans, he's faster, and he can take more of a beating. You know what that means? That means every time they need to show how badass a new villain of the week is, guess who gets taken down? That's right, he probably has more scenes falling down and getting beat up than any other member of the cast, even though he's the one that's supposed to be the perfect warrior. At the end of the day, that's exactly what happens with these things. We show, don't tell. Or we tell, not show. Or we show and tell different things. And either way, it's all part of the unreliable narrator that, I don't think I ever actually did my video I said I was going to do on the unreliable narrator. Well, I guess that's going to be for the new year. I'm sure I could come up with some other way to revisit this as well in the future if you guys are interested. But for now, let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Do you think that Captain Jellico was unfairly persecuted? Do you think that Kelly was being slut-shamed for no reason, and that Bud was actually a bit of a ladies' man? Do you remember these things differently? And now that I've brought these up, does it change your opinion of how any of these shows were done and talked about? What about the Wharf Effect? Let me know down in the comments. In the meantime, I need to ask you to subscribe so that we can talk about these things and other geeky things in the future, build a community, and thanks to the new algorithm, I need to ask you to like and share this video. So please tweet, Facebook, and I don't know, whatever the new thing kids do are. And thank you for now. Have a good new year. I'll see you next time as we walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Thanks for watching.